Hello guys, welcome back. Now today, I'm going to be doing my way too early 2021 NHL Draft Prospect Rankings and Mock Draft. Now while we're 2 years away from the 2021 NHL Draft, we're starting to see some major glimpses as to what 2021 has to offer. So what are the best prospects to keep an eye on, and which prospects make my top 10? Watch till the end to find out. And yes, while we are far away from the 2021 NHL Draft, I still didn't want to cover it and make my prospect rankings. Some of you guys know, the 2021 NHL Draft is my draft year, so I'm obviously a pretty big fan of what this has to offer. But throughout the NHL Draft and the 2021 Draft, there is a lot of good talent. Top to bottom, there's a lot to go around. And you'll get a great example of that talent at number 10, and at number 10, I have Logan Stankoven. He's a center prospect, Canadian-born prospect at age 16, 5'8", 170 pounds with the Kamloops Blazers, and in the past couple of years, he's been making a big name for himself, setting countless records in the midget leagues. In the British Columbia Major Midget League this past season, he ended up playing 39 games, getting 49 goals, 52 assists for 101 points. Absolutely amazing, especially with the games played that he ended up playing. Just an absolute monster throughout. And in the WHL, he was able to play a few games with Kamloops. He ended up playing 7 games in the regular season, getting 1 assist for 1 point. In the playoffs, he had a little bit of a bigger role, playing 6 games, getting 1 goal, 1 assist for 2 points. Moving on to number 9, and at number 9, I have Marcus Almquist. He's a right-wing prospect, Danish-born prospect, which you don't see every day, at age 15, 5'5", 152 pounds, and when it comes to next season, Almquist is committed to the Junior 18 League in Sweden. Now, Marcus Almquist is one of the youngest guys in 2021 because he has that September birthday, so he doesn't have this big advantage as some other older players have as well, so that's why he kind of gets underrated at some points. Now, this past season, he ended up playing the Tier 2 Danish Hockey League. He ended up playing 21 games, getting 11 goals, 10 assists for 21 points. In the U18 D1A World Juniors, of course, with Team Denmark, he ended up playing 5 games, getting 6 goals on the dot. And what's especially impressive is that how young he is. While yes, Tier 2 Danish Hockey League is not the best in the world, he was able to be pretty solid, getting 1 point per game, which is not bad whatsoever for a 15-year-old. Marcus Almquist, I think, might be the next best Danish-born prospect. Probably the best one since we've seen since Nikolai Ehlers. And I'm not putting that term lightly. Again, Nikolai Ehlers was heavily hyped in his draft year. And I think Marcus Almquist can be that same sort of hype. He might not be as good of a player as Nikolai Ehlers, but I think he is very highly touted, and there's a reason for that. Doing what he's done at such a young age is very, very impressive. And again, in that Tier 2 Danish Hockey League, he was still playing against men, and to have 1 point per game is very impressive. Moving on to number 8, probably the most well-known prospect in this entire 2021 NHL Draft, I have Luke Hughes. And he, of course, is a defensive prospect, American-born prospect, the youngest brother of the Hughes trio, and he's also very, very good if you didn't know already. He right now is 15 years old, he's 5'11", 154 pounds. He is going to play in the USDP in the next couple of years, and will be committed to college after that too. So after his draft deal, he'll be going to Michigan, which will be a big opportunity for him, kind of like the same route as Quinn Hughes. Now in the Little Caesars U15 Midget Prep League, he ended up playing 71 games, getting 22 goals, 61 assists for 83 points. And as a defenseman, those stats are very, very impressive too. But when it comes to Luke Hughes, he is the most known well guy because, of course, he's a Hughes brother. He is very, very good, but the hype on him might be a little bit too much. I think he's a great prospect. Again, one of the best American-born prospects in this draft. I think he is very, very solid, and the stats do show it, but he's not going to be a top 3 prospect, at least I don't think. Speaking of American-born defensemen, at number 7, I have Hreschuk. Of course, American-born defenseman at age 16, 5'10", 174 pounds. He will also play in the USDP, same thing as Luke Hughes, and he had a pretty monstrous season in midget. He played with the LA Kings U16 midget team, which is a very good track record, of course, developing Californian guys. He grew up in Long Beach as well, so he's a Californian prospect, but has a lot to offer. The gap between Luke Hughes and Hreschuk isn't too big, but both are very, very good. Räty with the U16 Kings midget team ended up playing 45 games, getting 28 goals, 25 assists for 53 points. And when it comes to Räty, he probably should be a little bit higher, but there's a couple of guys that just could not put outside the top 6. When it comes to Räty, though, in the next couple of years, he'll likely be a guy that does end up rising. I'm personally a pretty big fan of him. I do have him over Luke Hughes, which for some people I think can be a hot take, but Räty has a ton of talent both offensively and defensively, and likely will be the best defenseman for America coming out of this draft. Moving on to number 6, and at number 6, I have Brennan Othmann. He's a left-wing prospect, Canadian-born guy at age 16, 5'11", 161 pounds, recently committed to the Flint Firebirds of the OHL, and he's an absolute beast. Flint has a bad track record of prospects and just the team in general, but Othmann could be the guy to turn that franchise around. He's that good. Now, Othmann in midget AAA ended up playing 72 games this season, getting 66 goals, 80 assists for 146 points. Those are pretty good numbers, and Othmann just dominated with the Don Flyers. Just an absolute beast all around, and again, with the Flint Firebirds, should be absolutely fantastic. I haven't been able to see too much of him, unfortunately. From what I have seen, he's an absolute dynamic guy with so much skill to choose from. Now, advancing into the top 5, and at number 5, I have Joshua Waugh. Now, he is a center/left-wing prospect, Canadian-born prospect. He is from Quebec, so I would assume it's Waugh, not Roy. At least I would assume so. There's a guy named Patrick Waugh. Not sure if you've heard of him. He's pretty good. But when it comes to Joshua Waugh, he is at age 15. He is 5'11", 165 pounds. He was recently drafted first overall in the QMJHL draft by the St. John Sea Dogs and is absolutely worth the pick. He is fantastic and will be that in the QMJHL in a short few years. In the Quebec Midget AAA League this season, he ended up playing 42 games, getting 38 goals, 50 assists for 88 points. In the playoffs, he played 11 games, getting 6 goals, 5 assists for 11 points. And when it comes to Waugh to get drafted first overall in the QMJHL draft, it is completely deserved. He has serious talents, and I think is the best QMJHL guy coming out of this draft. And right now, it's not even close. Moving on to number 4, and at number 4, I have Dylan Guenther. He is a left-wing prospect, Canadian-born prospect at age 16, 6'1", 170 pounds, and he was recently drafted by the Edmonton Oil Kings in the WHL. Fantastic selection, and will be fantastic for Edmonton. He already made a splash for them this past season, and will do damage as soon as next season. Now, first off, in the CSSHL this season, he ended up playing 28 games, getting 32 goals, 26 assists for 58 points. And in the WHL with Edmonton, ended up playing 8 games, getting 3 goals, 1 assist for 4 points, and was an absolute beast throughout the regular season. And again, when it comes to Guenther, he is 1 month younger than me, which just puts the whole surreal thing into perspective. Again, this is my draft year, and Guenther has made so many strides in WHL already. Again, 4 points in 8 games as a 16-year-old ain't bad. Heading on to the top 3 spot, and at number 3, the exclusive group, at number 3, I have Matthew Beniers. He is a 16-year-old prospect, center prospect, American-born prospect too, 6 foot, 163 pounds. He has been in the USDP for the past couple of seasons, but has made excellent strides. I would say he's arguably the most far-along prospect in this entire draft, and has accomplished more than anyone so far. Beniers ended up starting out this season in the U17 USDP. He ended up playing 42 games there, getting 10 goals, 13 assists for 23 points. But then about midway through the season, was called up to the U18 USDP with guys like Jack Hughes, Cole Caulfield, Trevor Zegras, Alex Turcotte. You would imagine how good he played. He played very, very well. In 20 games, he ended up getting 8 goals, 12 assists for 20 points. And against the USHL, he ended up playing 33 games, getting 11 goals, 20 assists for 33 points, or 31 points. He was also with the U18 World Juniors with Team USA. In 7 games, he ended up getting 2 goals as well. Not bad for the guy who was pretty much 2 years out from his draft year. And while he definitely is an older prospect in this draft, he has done so much already and has played with excellent teammates, but also has played excellent in his own right. The next year for Beniers will be a huge test for him. Without guys like Jack Hughes, Alex Turcotte to sometimes rely on, he'll have to make himself into that own offensive juggernaut. I think he can be that. He has some excellent offensive potential and has shown up to this point to be a provider of offense every single game, but he will have to be the guy for them. It can't just be Jack Hughes. It can't just be Alex Turcotte. When it comes to USA, they will depend on him to be the guy offensively, and I think he can be that in 2021. Moving on to number 2, my second best prospect in 2021, I have Brandt Clarke. A defensive prospect, Canadian-born prospect at age 16, 6'1", 174 pounds with the Barrie Colts, and he's been kind of compared to the same kind of storyline as Bowen Byram. And when you're compared to Bowen Byram, you're usually a pretty good player. But Brandt Clarke might be even better than that. Possibly the best defensive prospect since Rasmus Dahlin. And Brandt Clarke has the stats to prove that so far. In the midget AAA league, the same league as Othman, the same team as Othman, he ended up playing 73 games, getting 35 goals, 78 assists for 113 points. as a defenseman and at age 16, which is just miraculous if we're being honest. And Clarke, again, that offensive potential is just so good. I think he can be better than Bowen Byram right now. Obviously, it is really early to call. The draft is still 2 years out, but Clarke has serious potential, and on Barrie, he can be an absolute monster, both offensively and defensively. Now, for my number 1 pick, in my opinion, the best prospect in the 2021 NHL draft, I have Aatu Raty. He is a center prospect, Finnish-born prospect at age 16. He is 6 foot, 170 pounds with Kärpät, and in that franchise, he has been absolutely monstrous. And while it isn't a huge gap, I think he is the best prospect and will become the best prospect in 2021. What strikes me with Aatu Raty is his pure progression. He's been able to do stuff last season that a lot of prospects in the 2019 NHL draft weren't able to do, especially Finnish-born prospects. Now in the Junior A SM Liga, he ended up playing 41 games, getting 17 goals, 14 assists for 31 points. Amazing numbers, especially for a 16-year-old. He also played in the playoffs, getting 10 goals, getting 4 goals, 8 assists for 12 points. Also played in the U17 World Hockey Challenge with Team Finland, and getting 6 games played and 3 goals. Also played in the U18 World Juniors with Team Finland as a 16-year-old, and ended up playing 5 games and getting 1 goal. But again, what Aatu Raty has been able to do is so impressive. Not just playing in the Junior A SM Liga, but also purely dominating as well offensively. Playing in the World Hockey Challenge, playing in the U18 World Juniors, no less, with Team Finland. While that team isn't really all that great, that is still very impressive, and Aatu Raty is the guy to lead that type of team. And again, to get a goal also is super impressive. And he is the first overall pick in 2021. I don't really see that changing. There are some amazing other prospects, but Aatu Raty is the hype of the class, and deservedly so. He has that talent to be an offensive juggernaut, especially when it comes to Finnish hockey. Aatu Raty will also continue the bloodline of having a top 3 Finnish-born prospect selected in the NHL draft. It's been happening since 2016, starting with the Patrick Laine year, then you had Miro Heiskanen in 2017, Jesperi Kotkaniemi in 2018, then of course you had this year Capo Katko 2019, it likely will be Anton Lundell in 2020, I think he will go top 3, and of course at number 1 in 2021, you'll have Aatu Raty, and deservedly so. Again, Finnish hockey has been purely dominant over the past few years, and Aatu Raty is a symbol of all of that. When it comes to the 2021 NHL draft, it might not be a 2020 or a 2015 NHL draft when it comes to strength, but it certainly is a very good one. With so many forwards and so many defensemen that it has throughout the top 10, throughout the top 20, it's pretty much perfectly balanced, as all things should be. But of course, with this video, I need to hear your guys' thoughts down in the comments down below. So let me know, what do you think about my 2021 prospect rankings? What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? Let me know. And the question on to you. Let me know what you guys think about the 2021 NHL draft. But if you guys want some more Grav videos just like this one, you can click on this card right here to watch my early 2020 NHL prospect ranking. But that'll be it for today, guys. If you guys enjoy, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Again, comment down below your thoughts on the 2021 NHL draft and my prospect rankings, and I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Goodbye.